everyone, and welcome back to Share Your Truth. This is episode 6, and we will be talking about letting go of past hurts and forgiveness. I'm Bridget Marie.
I'm Takoya.
Raquel.
Triana.
Candace.
I'm Jasmine.
I'm Yika Means.
Well, this topic is really interesting and deep because it's so hard to really let go pain, or if someone has done something to you, because and it's really our expectations of people that disappoint us that cause the pain. And so from that expectation and we're getting disappointed, anger is the next thing and you become upset. But letting it go is hard. It takes you really understanding that it's not that the person intentionally did it sometimes. Sometimes it could be that you put more on people than what they can really bear. And then there's sometimes it's just the simple thing of us wanting something that isn't meant to be.
Right.
It's so many different levels of it, but letting it go, that comes over time. And you have to understand, for me, it was me understanding forgiveness and understanding that I have to first forgive myself for letting something happen or allowing it to continue to happen, and then forgiving that person. But all of that happens when you allow God to be in the midst and you understand love. Because when you understand love, then you understand that God is the center of love, and everything that comes from that gives you true forgiveness.
Right.
For me.
Right.
That's good. Yeah. And the expectation part is really what it is for me, because you expect this certain person to be like to achieve what it is that you know that they so the expectation is like, I expected you to come through, and you didn't come through, and then once it happened, you have to ask yourself, why did I expect this person to be that? You know what I'm saying? Why did I expect this man or this woman to be that? Why did I set them on a pedestal to come through like that? You know? So that for me, like, forgiving is really hard. But when you tell yourself, like, stop holding people accountable for stuff that they can't do. So that's why, and that's where people goes to, like, not asking people for stuff. You know, like, I'm not asking because I don't want no expectations. I don't want to set expectations on people. So for me, it's like I have to do it for myself so that I won't get hurt. You get what I'm saying? So I kind of like, I try to tell myself, like, no, you got to make sure that you're able to do it yourself, because if you can't do it, you expecting somebody else to do it, and when they can't do it, you're mad.
Right.
So that's, for me, it's like the expectation. I went through a whole journey of I'm not expecting nothing from nobody. If you give something to me, that's extra. Anything anybody do for me is extra, because I'm not giving an expectation. And that's where the hurt coming at, because you expecting these people to come through. You expecting people to love you, and they don't even love themselves.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? So that's where the whole hurt thing coming at, and then you have to tell yourself and be real with yourself about letting it go, and understanding they was not the person that you were supposed to expect to do that.
And sometimes it's just the fact that the person doesn't know how. Like we talked about that before, just not expecting somebody to be and do something, but they have no idea how to do it. Just even being a mother, like, we learn day by day how to be a mother, or how to be a sister, how to be a daughter. It's not a handbook on these things. So even when you're in a relationship with somebody, those things are day by day. You trying to figure it out. They're trying to figure it out. But I think I remember our pastor made us do this topic on love. You got love. We studied love for like months. And the question was, can you wash the feet of those that have hurt you? And I remember thinking and feeling like, absolutely not. Like, I'm not washing. No, he done did that. She done did that.
What about when you see a person do something for someone else, and they don't come through for you, how they came through for that same, that's where the hurt coming at. Like, I've seen you do this.
Like, you're capable.
I expected you to do this because I've seen you do it. You probably haven't done it to me, with me, but you've done it. So when I expect you to do it and you don't come through, that's where the hurt come in at. Because it's like, why I'm not capable? Why you didn't do it for me?
And then sometimes
why you didn't have that same energy?
They do it for people that don't even reciprocate it for them.
Exactly. So you know that
It's
you
like,
capable
I'm
of
the one
doing it.
helping you. Why you not?
Yeah.
But then that goes back to expectations, and people have certain expectations. Sometimes we don't voice our expectations, or we feel like you should already know, like you're a genie, like you should already know. But yeah, so for me, my take on letting go of past hurts, I just been on this kind of like journey of healing, and I've seen like the difference in the growth versus a couple of years ago. I would think like, oh, why'd they do that to me? Or why they couldn't do that for me, or why did they hurt me? Why is it me? And then God was just like, okay, so are you gonna be a victim or a victor? Right. And then when I got that, I was like, oh, okay, good. Like, so now that happened to me. Okay, so why did it happen to me? And how am I gonna react now that that happened to me? So now that I'm thinking back in situations, I can see where I was wrong. Because people are going, and especially in relationships, people going to do you dirty.
Right.
But I didn't want to have the story of, oh, these men hurt me, I'm broken, I'm wounded, I'm scared to love because these men did this to me. Okay, so what ways could I have done better? Did I see the signs first? Right. And did I react to the sign, or did I try to put dirt over it because I wanted to keep the relationship smooth?
Right.
So I had to start asking myself those questions, and now I'm able to be like, okay, you know what, I do forgive. And I thought I had forgave before, but now I'm seeing like it's a total different forgiveness. Like I just had a conversation with somebody that hurt me to my core, and I was able to tell them like, you know, I've been forgave you. So if you're holding on to that and that's weighing you down, I need you to let it go.
Yeah.
Because because forgiveness is not just for the other person, is for you too.
Right.
Because we walk around with this bag, with these bags, and we think they're invisible, but people can tell when you've been hurt and when you've been wounded and where you're not healed at. And it messes up everything that you're trying to get. And I'm like, God, I don't want to hold nothing if it's gonna have me walking around like I'm just a victim. And it changed your mindset.
Sometimes, because I know I went through a phase where I thought I forgave, but I didn't. I was walking around thinking that I forgave, but I didn't forgive. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So, how would you touch on that? Like, you thinking you forgave a person, but at the same time, you really ain't forgave. You really have not. You say they say the name, you still
It's
but I'm sitting here sitting.
I think the hurt is always there. Like I feel like you could get past the hurt, but what they did to you is still in your memory bank. That may never go away. But forgiveness is literally freedom. So when you feel free, when you walk and they in your presence and you still feel free, that's when you forgave. That's how I knew. Like that's how I knew that I really forgave. Because now when I'm looking at you, it's not like no animosity. It's not like I want to get back at you. It's not none of that. It's just I'm free now. I might remember what you did to me. Now that ain't never gonna go away unless it's like, God, take this out of my memory. Now you can say that, like, God, take this out of my memory. I don't even want to remember. Yes, He will.
He will.
But you gotta that forgiveness comes with growth.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a long jump.
It is.
It's every step.
It comes with growth.
Yeah.
It does.
Every step. And like I had the conversation because it's just been this year has been conversation after conversation of people who have really pained me, especially relationships, and then co-parenting with my daughter's dad. So I had a conversation. I was just like, I had to forgive you. I forgive you of that. I need you to forgive me because I did this. And when I said that, his eyes literally got huge. Like, what you want? Some Jesus juice? Because you gotta see where you went wrong in the situation.
I hit mine with that one. You need to forgive me because I forgave you.
You got to think about like where did I go wrong, and then it's kind of like a splinter. Like I attribute forgiveness to a splinter because you can do like the surface work and it look like it's not there. But if you ever had a splinter and day later you like, it's still there. Okay, well if the unforgiveness is still there, okay, God, purge me. Like, and I just been asking them like, let me be like a sea. Like, you know how you see the sea and it's just constant. Like, let me just have that kind of forgiveness that as soon as he say something crazy, Lord, I forgive him. Because people only know what they know.
I feel like kind of how like when Trey started off, how she was saying like it's different, it's levels to it. It's like you could be on the forgiveness part. Your perspective and everything could be, to a whole nother level. But the person that you're bringing the forgiveness to, what if they're not there?
If they're not there, then you be who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
You've already forgave, because that's for sure. That's for sure going on right now.
And you
like,
still,
let's not get that twisted at all.
and you still move in forgiveness.
Yeah,
Even if they come back with those same old things and old words and old reactions, you have to stand firm in your forgiveness.
The thing is, it's like, it's so much easier said than done.
It is.
Like,
Baby girl.
But it's a daily prayer. It's a daily, like, you have to be willing to look like the food. I say food because you have to be willing
That's
to.
what in this world
it looks foolish because you're not giving that reaction that you used to or what they're used to.
Yeah.
So sometimes it is better for you to just be quiet and not say anything, and that's where the word of God comes in. Like,
But that don't mean that you're forgiving because you're sitting there being quiet.
No.
Angry on this side, too.
You can be angry, but I'm saying that it's a process. You cannot ask God to help you and you forgiving that person, but you still have the same actions. You have to do something different too, because as we know, it comes first. You think of things in your mind, and it becomes your words, and it becomes your actions. So you have to keep telling your mind, like, I don't want to be that same person. And like Bridget said, it is for you. So it's like, I don't want to keep being in bondage with you. Like, I gotta be free. And then what happens is, in your freedom, that person can't help but to be free. Like, I'm speaking from the point of me and my daughter's father. I had to forgive him. And when I forgave him, my actions towards him completely changed. And because my actions changed, I like to believe that his did. Like, our conversation changed. Our relationship changed for the better. Because at the end of the day, it's not even about you and I. It's about this baby. You know, it's about our child. So it is easier said than done, but it's a day-to-day thing, and you have to be reminded that the forgiveness is going to bring you that joy, peace, and happiness that you asked for.
So I understand everything that you're saying, because I was there and I'm still there, like, with my kid's father. And it's like, for 3 years, I felt like him and his girlfriend were coming for me. Like, and it probably wasn't their intention, you know, whatever. And it's like, I wasn't the crazy baby mama that could do all this that I wanted to do, you know, because it's like, because I'm getting myself together with God. And it's like, every time I felt like they were coming for me, and I'm minding my business, like, you know, like chilling, right? Minding my business, talking to God, like, okay, Lord, we got this. Like, we gonna do this. And it's like, I could have did so many things. So many, like, I knew where they lived, everything. I could have did so many things and I didn't. And it's like, okay, God, why are you allowing this to happen? Why they could come for me, but I can't come back for them? And every time God will say, be still and know that I am God. And I'm just like, but look, this, like, you know, and it's like, I got people like, oh, you should have did this, you should have did that, and it's like, oh, you better than me. Oh, you know, like, I got all of that, and I'm just like, Jesus, like, and I'm not a confrontational person. I hate confrontation. Like, I'm not argumentative. Like, I don't want to do all that. You know, it's like, my thing is, like how you said, it's about these kids. It's not about you and me. Like, you know, you moved on, you done did this, you done did that. Just, you know, I don't come for y'all. Y'all do you. Only thing I come to you is when it has to do with the kids. But it's like, it was a process, and it's better. I'm not gonna lie, but I still struggle with it, because it's like, I feel like he could do more than what he's doing.
That's the expectation.
And it's like, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. But it's like, it's a struggle. So I'm trying to, you know, like, get there to where I haven't all the way forgiven him, and only because it's still stuff that happens. So it's like, when something happens, it takes me back to the past. Like, you know, so it's a struggle. Like,
it's different when it comes to a person that you was in a relationship with and have children with. When you have children, it's like, okay, we was in a relationship, I found out I don't like you.
That part.
But now we got kids together. So it's like, I gotta see you again. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're in a relationship without these children and you can go about your business and I can go about mine. We have little people involved that we have to keep communication with, right? So for me, I knew that because I was a crazy baby mama. I was doing everything she thought of. I was doing it. Okay, busting windows, pulling up, hopping out, jumping out, flipping out. I was doing all of the above. When I realized, like, I don't want him. You know, I was at a point to where I knew I didn't want him. I just didn't want nobody else to have him. You get what I'm saying? But I knew I didn't want him. I knew I didn't want him. So for me, I feel like once you get to the point of knowing that 4 baby mamas and baby daddies, once you get to the point of knowing you don't want this person, you can't grow with this person, you can hear this person talking, you like, what was I thinking? You know? I could sit in a room with mama, be friends with the other baby mama, hug her. It's him that I don't really too much like. You get what I'm saying? It's him. But he can't do that with me. He can't reciprocate the same energy. And sometimes when people can't reciprocate the same energy, you go on to their energy. So you got to be mindful of the energy that you're keeping with the people that you trying to forgive. You get what I'm saying? So for me, he could flip out any day and I'll be laughing like, what's up? Like, y'all, you good? You know, like, you need to vent. Why are you taking things out on me? But I'm at that point to where I could do that now. I wasn't there. I was not there. But it took me to the point of realizing and just knowing yourself. Getting to know yourself. Like you said, forgiveness comes with growth. Like once you get to know yourself and healing and understanding, you will for sure be like, that's old. I don't care about all that. You can't do it to me now. Right. When you get to the point to where you understand that a person can't do it to you today, forgive them for what they did a year ago.
And just like love, you just take that hurt and try to switch it to love.
But I think
that's not the easiest thing.
Yeah, because you love that person, they keep hurting you, like, you know.
And that's where the hard part.
Yeah, but I'm talking about God's love. Like when just because of your existence, I love you. Just because of not because of your title of who you are in my life.
Right.
What placement you have in my life, but because of you being God's child, regardless of what a person does to you, good or bad. You know, good or bad, they're still God's child, right? And so if we look at it like that, like I'm gonna love you from that's what helped me. Like if I could see you the way, if I focus on trying to see you the way that God sees you, and the way He looks at me, right? Because we got a lot of filth about us that we carry, you know what I'm saying? Things about us that people don't like, dislike, whatever. However, God still loves us. And so my prayer every day for me is that, God, if I could just love people the way that you love them and you love me. And then it kind of takes away like all that extra stuff. But again, that's a daily thing. That's not something you just wake up and you be like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be intentional. That's the word.
Right.
Yes, I'm like, oh, Trayana, you're so sweet.
But let me tell y'all,
Jesus,
I promise you guys, it's my testimony. Like that's how, because we've all been hurt. You know what I'm saying? And I don't intentionally try to hurt anybody, but I know I've hurt people too. But like when I take myself out of it, I'm like, but what happened there? A lot of it is because I didn't know who I was, or I didn't know how to talk to you. I didn't know how to comfort you. I didn't know how to express my feelings. Like all these things that I just didn't know. And so sometimes people just don't know. They're not raised that way. And even if they're being told that, it don't make sense in their minds, so they don't do it. It's just all these things. So I'm like, Lord, just let me love the way. Because if you think about it, love is love is the word that's in the Bible the most. Like that is something that He asks of us constantly, is to love. You know what I'm saying?
We were created out of love.
So if we take it back to that helps. I'm not saying it makes sense.
And then I think too, even understanding that for you, it was a process.
Yes.
So if you're dealing with somebody else, you have to understand that they're not going to change according to when you feel they should. They have to go through their process as well. And I think oftentimes we get caught up with, okay, since I've grown, you have to grow. You know, since I'm right here, you need to be right here. And it's like, be realistic. That ain't happening. You know, you're going to have to repeat yourself 5 times, like you talking to a 5-year-old or a 2-year-old, but then you got to understand you're not functioning in your own flesh. Like she said, you got to die to your flesh daily. When I wake up, I'm like, God, forgive me for anything, you know, known and unknown. Because I can walk by you and you might feel some type of way. Granted, there was no intention. Like, there was no, my bad, you know? And then, like she said, like Mika said, when you got a child involved, it's tricky because it's like these babies are watching you. So don't tell this baby what they should do when you're not reflecting what you want them to do. So I think for me, that's what made my process with my son's father a lot easier. It was like, okay, now I have a son. So not only do I have to be a mom to him, but I have to show him how to be a man until you figure out what it is that you gonna do. I can't show him that, but at the same time I can tell him like, okay, open the door for mommy, don't curse around women, do this, do that. And then once his dad starts to see that, he's like, well, thank you for being all that you are. Even when I was messing up, you stood on your post, you know. So it'll all come around, but it's the process that's the trickiest.
The process is what it is. That's what you have to get through, is that process. And that's with life in general. It's just on no forgiveness. It's on everything. It's a process. Everything. So once you get a hold to that process and start realizing like, this gonna take time. I'm about to wake up and I'm about to be on something different tomorrow. This is gonna take time. How long is it gonna take? Do I need to write this down in a journal every day to get through it? Put something on my mirror every day to get through it. Do I need to do this to get through it? What do you need to do to get through the process? Because it's going to be a process.
But the first thing that you really gotta say is that I do want to forgive. That's the first thing. That's the first step. The first step is like accepting the role you played and accepting the role that they played. And it's not just on them and it's not just on you. Whatever it is, like I mean, some people, granted, some people have
things is just on the person.
No, I feel like wait, no, because I do feel what you're saying. No, but the forgiveness part is on you. Now they might have did something to you, granted, and you didn't have nothing to do with it,
right?
And they keep doing it. But the thing is, the forgiveness is on you. That's not on them. They can't say, Mika, come right now and forgive me, and you be like, I'm not about to forgive you, or you either gonna say, I'm gonna forgive you, or I'm not. And most of the time, you gonna say no. Whatever you did, you hurt me to the core. You hurt me, and it's like, hold on. Cause guess what God do every single day, and every time that you come to him, even when you walk by him and you like, God, I'm gonna turn my back on you today, and he's still like, but my arms is open. And that's the thing, we gotta reflect him in the earth. And the thing is, in the Bible it say, forgive them 7 times.
I know you say it all the time, and I'm like,
The thing is, you gotta get to it.
I gotta start walking like God, because I'm just not.
No, but it's not even.
All you gotta say is like, help me to forgive.
In my mind, this will help me. This will help me. That I was gonna be free. Because I'm in bondage and you free.
Walking around.
How you walking around free and I'm in bondage?
Just happy.
Because of something you did to me. That don't even make sense. That is what made me. I'm like, I got to be free. I got to be free.
Because unforgiveness turns into something else. Because unforgiveness don't just stay as unforgiveness. It starts transforming into bitterness, into hate, and just all type of stuff. People that are unhappy. And I used to not understand how people could look at their kids and be like, oh, you look just like your dad. Like, how? But when you get to a point and you have that disgust for a person, I'm like, ooh, I don't want that. Because I don't want to look at this baby and not see you, because you blessed me with her. So I got rid of that fast. But the hardest thing was forgiving myself. Because it's like, Raquel, you knew what was going on, but you just running past all the stop signs. So I would say for forgiveness, the hardest thing was forgiving me. Like, look at myself in the mirror. After I had my daughter, it was hard to look at myself in the mirror like, girl, you just derailed your whole life on something that was not concrete, baby. What are you doing? And it was hard for me to like get back into me and start loving back on me. To get to a point where I actually was like, okay. And God walked me through it. Like, he totally walked me through it, because I was so disgusted with myself. Because I knew what I wanted my life to look like, but I made permanent decisions with temporary people. Because everybody that's coming in, I made some permanent decisions on temporary people. And God brought people into my life for them to be there for a season, but I'm like, no, this is kind of good. I'm gonna make this person stay. In fact, I'm gonna ignore all the signs that you're giving me. I'm gonna make this person my everything. Oh no, because we're getting married. Oh no, because we're having a baby and this is concrete. This is going down.
Right.
Oh, so this ain't the person I was supposed to be with? Oh, wait, now I'm a single mama. Oh, now I'm a single mama. Oh,
not single.
It blew up in my face. And I was just like, oh, no, I'm depressed. I'm stressed. I got postpartum. I'm out of here. I'm done. I'm low. What did you do to yourself, Raquel? What did you do to yourself? When I look back at pictures, I can see that I was very unhappy. I was unhappy. I would not do anything for myself. I would just get my baby washed. The only reason I was living was for my baby. That was the only reason I was living. Because I saw a light in her and I knew God had gifted her to me because she's a miracle baby. You feel me? So me getting to that point, I had to be like, you know what, God? Like, I don't want to hold nothing. And I don't want to never keep her from her father. Ever.
Right.
And never will I ever act just cut that off. But I had to like totally separate from that place of hurt. I was like, we're just going to chill on this for a moment. And I'm just going to focus on being a mom. Because I didn't want to have that unforgiveness, but I still harbor some unforgiveness. I was able, on the outside, I was able to be cool, but I still, on the inside, I was mad. And I got to a place where I would just get so frustrated when I hear his voice, it just pissed me off. And it's like, I don't want to have that reaction. Because guess what? He's living his life and he's cool.
Right.
But then whenever I get a call, I'm anxious, I'm angry, I'm frustrated. Like, I'm ready to punch the wall. I'm fighting the air because I'm getting and so I had to get into that, and then like we're still walking through it. Like Jazz said, it's a day-to-day situation. In fact, it's a couple of hours ago, I was pissed off. But it's like, God, I don't want to, because it gets to a point where it's not just about me. People are looking. People are watching. And you say I wasn't in my mind, I'm not the crazy baby mama either that's doing all the crazy stuff, and that's what is being said about me. So now I'm mad because I'm being lied on, and now I'm mad because other people are looking at me like I'm doing something that I'm not doing. All I'm doing is giving you love and putting my hands up, red, white flag. Let's get it together. So other people are blessed by seeing you go through and be burnt through the fire, and you still choosing to forgive. So you able to bless somebody with your testimony, even though it hurts and it burns us. But it's like, and then it comes down to, do you want to be free? Like, do you want to be free? And do you want to be able to actually breathe? Or do you want to just be going, little breaths?
Right.
I want to be able, I don't want nothing to impact what I got going on. I want to get all, and this is what I told him, like, legit, this is the conversation. I said, I forgave you because I don't want nothing impacting none of my blessings. I want you to love her more than you have hate for me. If you hate me or you got some disdain for me, man, love her more than you hate me. So whatever negativity you want to tell her, don't tell her. Just tell your homeboys, tell your friends, tell your mama, tell your dog. Don't tell the baby. But that's what you got to do. Like, okay, God, I want to be so free and let these blessings come. Anybody who ever did anything to me, I forgive them. And he may lead you into be able to talk to the person and have a conversation. Like somebody was just straight crying to me like, I'm so sorry, I can't believe I did you like that. After all these years, you want to tell me that?
Right.
But it's the self-work that I've been doing that's bringing all these people into me to be able to apologize. And I'm like, thank you, God, because you don't always get the apologies.
Right.
You got to say what the meme say. You got to deal with the person. You got to forgive the person who never apologized. Because that weight, it'll mess you up.
It's too heavy.
It stagnates you. It's too heavy for sure. It's too heavy.
I want to say, like, my process, and I definitely believe that it is a process, but my process with forgiveness, it was a daily struggle, but I got to the point where I was doing, my life was so raggedy, I needed God to forgive me, and that taught me how to forgive other people the way that I was seeing God forgive me. And when I was in situations where people did hurt me, God always had me look at my reactions or my actions or myself. What could you have done better before I continue to put all the blame on the other person? Because in any situation, it does take two.
Right.
Now, granted, sometimes it is just
that was me. Good, that wasn't me.
Granted, it's not all. all situations, but most of the times, especially even in a romantic relationships, it's been times where you may have messed up, they messed up, and you can always look to see like, okay, what can I have done better? Even if you didn't do nothing to actually hurt them, but maybe the way you reacted when they hurted you, did it reflect God? Did it reflect the person that you want to be? So you can always look at yourself to see, okay, what can I have done better? And that's the place that God had me, because I'm always like, well, God, I was playing the victim. Well, they did this, they did that, and God is, okay, you're right, but why did you react that way? You know? So that process, it took me a while, but I'm always in need of God's forgiveness.
For sure.
At all times. So it helps me. It helps me really good. But another one was like with my father. And I never got a chance to forgive my father like face to face or whatever because he died. And that, God had to take me through that as well, because I was holding on to a lot from my dad, from him just not being there. And I had this conversation with a friend, like, I think it's worse when a parent walks out on you when you're actually with them. I could see like if the dad was never there or the mom, whoever, was never there from the jump, but you actually spent time with this child, you feel me, and you still decided to walk away. That always messed me up, because my friend who I was talking to, her dad was just never there from the jump. So I'm like, what do you think is worse? Like them actually being in your life? Because my dad left when I was like 3, my brother 5. So I'm like, you spent all this time with us and you still chose to walk away? So it just threw me off. And then what really hurt me, do y'all remember the loop?
Yeah.
On the phone?
Well, I used to be on that.
Cheyenne like, wait, what?
Stop aging us, Candy.
I won't say what
But
my
tell
name
me
was.
what it was.
Give me my username.
I'll tell y'all later.
I was a part. No, I never.
So like basically you
party line.
you basically describe yourself or whatever, right? Like I'm 5'5". Blah, blah, blah.
You never say your name. Okay.
So my dad had asked me. My dad, he's from Mississippi. Once my mom broke up, he moved back to Mississippi. So I remember I probably was around whatever age we was at, 13, 14 or whatever. He had asked me, he was like, describe yourself to me. And because he hadn't seen me. I'm always
your dad asked you to describe yourself
and
to
it just took me back, and I'm just like, dog, like, and he was on speakerphone, and everybody around my mom, my brother, and they thinking like that's cool, because I just stopped. And they're like, tell him. But I'm thinking like, I shouldn't have to describe myself to you. You should be here. And from there, because I'm always going, I hate being around.
let the tears fall, girl.
That's a release, girl.
Like, I was always like asking my mom questions about my dad, like, tell me like what happened, what's this, what's that. But once that happened, I just stopped. Because I'm thinking like, man, you supposed to be here. And then you not there. Now I'm trying to find love in all these other places, because the one that I felt that was supposed to be there, that was supposed to love me first, wasn't there. And now the stuff that I'm doing with, like, I'm describing myself to other people. Now my daddy asking me to do that?
Right.
Nah. So I just, from there, middle school, my dad died when I was a sophomore in college. I ain't talked to him since that. And I felt so bad. And God had to allow me to forgive him, and I wrote letters to my dad after he died, like, I forgive you. And that released me from so much stuff. So I say all that to say forgiveness is definitely a process, and you just have to be willing to find whatever your process is. It's not going to look like everybody else, but like Bridget said, the first thing, ask for it. God, teach me how to forgive.
Like, I know a lot of people be having to forgive, like, significant others, people they had kids with. But I don't know if people understand how to forgive a parent. Like, that's a different ball game. Like, I can sit here and I can talk about kids, baby daddy, baby mama, but forgiving a parent is not easy. It's not. So, like, when everybody like, it takes two, I was a kid. I know for sure I couldn't have been doing nothing to deserve what I got. Nothing. So I still haven't forgiven my mom. I don't know how. When people tell me I don't know how, I ask God all the time, help me. I don't know how. And it's not the fact that I think I forgave her for the things that she did to me when I was younger, but she's still, it's like now she can't physically abuse me, now she's verbally abusing me. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to forgive a person that
keep doing
stuff to you. Right. And then it's apparent. Yeah. Like I could see if there was an enemy, a girl that I had a fight with 10 years ago that's coming back giving me, I could get all of that. But when it becomes apparent, no one will ever be able to know what that feel like unless you've been through it. Like I hear a lot of people say like, I could never talk to my mom like that, or I could never do my mom like that. I don't see how she do that, or I don't see. Please speak for yourself. Right. Like you don't know what a person go through with their parent to make them feel that way. So when I see people, having mother-daughter relationships and stuff like that, I be thinking like, that's dope, because to me it's rare. And the way that I feel about my mother, people think I'm crazy. People literally think that I'm like crazy. But I don't have it in me to forgive her. Not right now. I don't know how. I don't know where to start. I mean, I know where to start is to ask, like, help me forgive her. I get it. But he still haven't. The crazy thing is this. What was it? This year? 2018? I caught myself trying to forgive her. So I texted her. The beginning of the year, I think it was like January 1st or December 31st. I texted her and told her, like, I forgive you or whatever. She didn't respond. She didn't respond to my text message. She didn't say nothing. Then I get pregnant. She like cyber bullies me. She goes on Facebook and she writes. She wake up like in the morning. People will probably be calling me like, what happened with you and your mama? But I had to start telling people, stop calling me, telling me what she writing about me. Stop telling me. She like the things that she say about me is like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I wouldn't. But my mama been doing this to me since I could remember. I started remembering at 4. I know it had to start before 4. I just could remember the things that she used to do to me at 4 years old. And now that I'm older and she can't put her hands on me, and I am the one who fight my mama. I am the one who curse my mama out. I am the one that's very disrespectful. Do I like it? No. I want a relationship with my mama. I want to have that, that bond, but how? How could you have a relationship with a person that's like not there physically, mentally, nothing? It's hard. That forgiveness is like, that's deep, like to a whole nother level. It don't equal out to having a baby by a person. It don't equal out. It probably equal out to a man that's abusing you, maybe. But a parent. And I think it's hard for me to love because I feel like my mama don't love me. You can't possibly love me.
Right.
With guys, I'm hard. Guys be like, you don't even love me. And they be like, I do. I just don't know how to show it. And then when people tell me that they love me, I be like, why? I always question people's love for me because I feel like my mama didn't love me. So forgiving a parent is like the hardest part. It's hard.
But I think you have to have people around you who gonna pray for you and who gonna uplift you even during that time. Because I personally don't know what it feel like, what that feel like, and I feel your pain. Like I feel you. At the same time, I know what it means to be free. So in between your hurt and the freedom, I'm like, God, where do you come in? Because he's stepping in. And this is the thing. I know for a fact that God don't do nothing without no purpose. Now, I don't know if you have to go through all of that your whole life just so you can sit here and tell somebody else that's out there that guess what, you could still maneuver. Cause guess what, it's some people out there who done been beat down so much by their parents that they can't maneuver. Like they is like out here like I can't function. And I remember in one episode, and I think it was the first episode. You like, I'm trying to be better than my mama. I'm just trying to one up her. Like if I can one up her, I'm better. So I feel like you took everything and you took it as a learning thing. Like it's learning, and I feel like you're gonna eventually learn to forgive her. Yes. No matter if she keep doing it, and that's the thing. People is going to keep coming at you. They gonna come for your throat. That's what the devil do. And I know that sometimes the devil uses people to come for our throat. To see if you gonna bow down. Right. And you like, I'm not gonna bow down. I just right now don't know how to love effectively the way. But I feel like you do it with your children. You do it with you love effectively with your children. Maybe you gotta get to the point to where you love a man like you're supposed to love him. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or how God wants you to love him. But I feel like all of that is in prayer. I feel like if you talk to God about all of this, like he gonna release you.
Can I say this? One thing you said that stood out to me, you said I want to.
Yeah.
Like when you said that, Satan don't even have it believe me when I say it's gonna happen.
Right.
It's going to happen because whatever your heart desire is, Mika, God's gonna grant it. Whether she wants it or not, it's going to happen. But it's going to happen in a way that you're going to be free. And she may still respond and act the same way, but you're going to be the one that's going to be free. Mm-hmm. And when that day comes, that's going to be the day that you're going to feel like, wow, God, all of that was for a reason. Because for some reason, God is very, and I said this earlier, but he's so intentional. Right. So whenever that day comes, that day was that day for a reason. Mm-hmm. So it's somewhere he wants you to be, somewhere he wants your mom to be, for that exchange to happen. And when it happens, it's going to make sense. But it's going to happen because you said, I want to. That's your heart. That's your heart. And when God sees your heart, everything else will follow. And I'm with Bridget like that. I don't even know how that feels. I have no idea how that feels. But I can feel you. And you're so sincere with, like, you don't want, I think what it is that you don't even get it here. Like, I'm not even understanding why that happened. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, how and why did that happen? How can a mother or a parent do this to their child? Like, all these questions. And sometimes when it's unanswered questions, we go to the emotional side of it, and it's like you have your walls up. Yeah. Right. And it's like, I'm not letting those walls down right now because I don't know what's on the other side of it. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely, I'm praying for you. Like, you going to be on my... Yeah.
It's not easy, and it is a process. Like, I struggle with the relationship with my mother as well. Like, mine wasn't physically abusive, but it's verbally abusive. Like, and I feel like the way that my mom talked to me, like, she don't have to, like, I feel like she still treats me like I'm a little kid. Like, you know, so I definitely understand, because it does hurt, because it's your mom, it's your parent. It's like, why does it have to be my parent? But I feel like it's just God is using you to help deliver her, or to help heal her from whatever maybe she went through as a kid. Like, maybe she went through something and now she taking that on you. Like, well, my mom, I know where my mom's anger and everything stemmed from. And I feel like where I'm at now, or like leading up to where, like, the stuff that I went through with my kid's father, everything, I feel like all that happened for a reason, because I'm wiser than what I was, and like I look at things from a different perspective. Like how the process, we were talking about how, like, with me and my kid's father, like, I can't have that with him, that process. I don't know how to have it with him, but I have it with my mom. Like, she could keep doing this stuff to me, keep doing this stuff to me, but I'm forgiving her. I could forgive her and move forward. I can still love her, and like you say to you, Mika, like, don't give up, because that's what the enemy wants you to do, and that's why he's trying to break you down, because he don't want you to forgive your mom, because he know how much power is in forgiveness. Like, and when you are healed, set free, and delivered, girl, and your mom too.
I know, Bridget.
Like, it's so just
give it to me.
You fighting a good fight. That's what you do. Like, keep fighting a good fight. It's not easy. It's absolutely easier said than done. Like, it's a battle for me. It's a struggle for me. Like, and I live with my mom. Like, so it's like,
girl, I couldn't.
Like,
hold on, wait a minute.
And it's like I gotta keep my mouth shut. Like God told me to hold my tongue. Like I can't say nothing back. And I be like, but you can't talk to me like this. Like no, it's keep fighting the good fight.
It be hard because I'm gonna say this. This has been something that I've been, like I said, I was 4 since I can remember. Like my auntie used to be like, you was 6 months, and she used to be turning your head, popping you at 6 months if I didn't turn my head the right way and all of that. So I would get, stories about how she used to do me before I could remember. You get what I'm saying? So the times from up to the time that I could remember, up until I was like 17, when I started fighting her back, is when it like stopped. Like she stopped hitting me because I started fighting her back. So me and my mom has like a reverse, like I'm the mom, she's the child. It's like I'm older, I handle the responsibilities, I pay bills, I do all of that, and she's the kid who come to me for money, come to me for gas money. And when I don't give it to her, she attack me. If she's going through a struggle of not having a car, she attacks me. I'm the one that she attacks. If she going through a struggle of not paying her rent, she attacks me. So I'm trying to get, like, I kind of got past what she did to me as a kid, because it's like she was a baby having a baby. She was 17, she had me. I probably stopped a lot of the stuff that she chose to do, but that was because she chose to lay down and have sex as a teenager, which didn't have nothing to do with me. But I know that. So I kind of forgave her for what she did to me as a child. But when it started keep coming, it's like you're not about to keep, so I distance myself from her. I don't talk to her. Literally, my mom could walk through the door right now and I won't say 2 words to her. She won't say hi, I won't say hi. Literally. But I don't want it to be that way. I want to at least be able to say hey, even if she in my presence, I'm like, oh, she get on my nerves, but whatever, And I was at that point, but I feel like when I got on my journey with, being kind of a little bit more successful, she started attacking me. When she asked me to buy her a car, and I told her no. Why would I buy you a car? Since that day, she attacked. When I say she comes for my throat, she comes for my throat. Literally. So it's hard. The forgiveness for that is like, and like I said, I want it. Like Trayana said, I want it, but I don't know how.
And that's God's part.
Yeah.
Let God do that.
Yeah.
That's whatever is in your heart, just let that be. And don't be surprised when God says, when your mom walks in the door, God says, give her a hug. Don't be surprised when he tell you that. And guess what you got to do? Give her a hug.
Why I gotta give her
But obedience.
That's what he's
obedience.
That's what he's going to use.
Why he ain't gonna tell her?
Because you said it. You said the roles have been switched, and if we can take it to a spiritual point, you are God's
messenger.
Yes. He's using you. Your vessel is going to be used, and so since you're being used, the commands are going to come to you.
You have to
be obedient. And here's another thing too. Your words gonna have to change.
All of that.
It all has to change. It has to be in alignment with what your heart says. And what your heart is saying right now is that I want that. And then all your words just follow that. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. We're gonna look back at this and we're gonna say, on this day that's what it was, but now you and your mama sitting down having conversations, and she's apologizing to you because now
that's so far to me.
No, but
it look like an ad.
That's
all.
But that's how God works, because you gonna know for sure that it's God. His timing is perfect. His timing is perfect, Mika. It's gonna blow your mind.
But why I got to be the child? Why I have to be the parent? When can I be the child? When am I going to be able to be the child? I've never been able to be the child. I don't want to be the one that got to hug her. Why she can't hug me?
No, that's real. That's real.
She is the direct example of what happens when you harbor unforgiveness.
Yes.
Something definitely happened to her.
I was about to say she's bound.
It's not just she's bound. It's not just mental, but it's spiritual.
Yeah.
And when you are in that spiritual place of hurt, pain, anger, frustration, hate, all of those things, you start to attack the very people that's supposed to be helping you.
And you know what? I know I don't know scriptures, but with my mother, she hurt the people that she need the most. And I was like, is that a disease?
No, it's the imps.
Is that an illness?
It's the imps and the direct spirits that are taunting her and that are playing with her mind. When they see light coming towards her, it's like, no, throw a dart to get them back up off you. And I have that with my own mom. I'm able to see and I'm able to pray, and we, like, sometimes we just get so combative, and it's like, I'm not messing with you. But then God shows me a vision of what's going on in her mind. She's hurt. She's this. You need to go to her. And I'm like, I don't want to.
Right.
But I see her in a dark place. And then when I go to her and I get out myself, she's able to receive me. After we then had a whole full blow up. It looks crazy. Because it's like, y'all just was calling everybody about your name. And now y'all cool. Because I can see spiritually into what's going on. And sometimes we are more spiritual elevated than our parents.
Absolutely.
Because it's not your age, it's how much work you're willing to put in.
Right.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times God will give you your own parent to save. I know for sure my child saved me. Woo. And I know because it's reasons why I was given to my mom. And she'll say it. When she not mad at me, she'll be like, Raquel saved me.
And it's crazy because everybody, like if I see somebody, one of her friends, they be like, I just seen your mama. She told me, she talked so highly of you.
Right.
I'm not surprised.
Because you are where she couldn't be at that moment.
And I be like, she said that?
That's
Crazy because my
That,
mama talked
that you are where she couldn't be, and it makes her upset.
like
it makes her disgusted.
And people be like, you just don't know how highly your mama speaks of you. And I be like, why she can't?
Because she's disgusted.
She's
She's disgusted and she's embarrassed that she couldn't be that for you.
That's fine.
No, not with her.
No,
It's not.
Yeah, my auntie said the same thing. Like, if she's not the one, my auntie said, since my mother was a kid, if she's not the one doing better,
It's a problem.
it's a problem.
My encouraging word for tonight would be allow God to heal you. Allow God to heal you. Put your mask down. Allow yourself to be open to Him and to really search within your heart, because it's important that you go deep within your heart and to allow Him to take those things out that pain you, that cause you hurt, that make you feel like you're not enough, that make you feel like you're not worthy. It's a start point. That's a start point. It's not all gonna happen in one night, but it's a process. Just moment by moment, allow Him to open you up and to heal you.
And I would definitely say surrender. Get to a point to where you're not trying to figure it out on your own. Set yourself aside and completely depend on Him and understand that ultimately He has the final say. So anything that you're experiencing, anything that you're going through, anything that you're feeling, it's not in vain. There's someone that can benefit from your experience. So don't give up, don't give in, don't give out. But praise God in all things, knowing and understanding that He has the final say. My encouraging word is knowing that forgiveness is freedom. Knowing that if you do forgive, if you make the choice to forgive, you will be free. The other person could be doing whatever they're doing, but if you are willing to forgive somebody who has done something to you, or even forgive yourself, you will be free. And you will know that you're free by being in somebody's presence and not want to get back at them, not wanting to distance yourself, like you stay over here, I stay over here. You know you've forgiven that person if you could do that. If you could walk in a room and speak to them with no ill feelings.
I'll say let go and let God. And I know that can sound cliche, but it's really like you letting it go, whatever your expectations are, whatever your feelings are, whatever your emotions are, letting it go and letting God do the rest. And again, it's a day-to-day thing. It's not something that you can turn a switch on and off. It's once that switch is on though, it's on. Once God get in there and you allow God to just dwell and do whatever it is that he's going to do, you're going to feel it. Your life is going to change. Things are going to change. God is going to bless you miraculously. But I think another thing is love. Keeping love in the forefront of everything that you do. And that love has to be the love that God gives us every day. It's unconditional. It doesn't expect anything. It's kind. It's patient. It is all of that. And if we could keep that in mind, that would help us do the part of letting go and letting God.
I would say my encouraging word is to try to get to a point where you can understand that it's spirit and not so much that person. We have to put into consideration that that other person is going through some type of pain as well. That other person is feeling some type of bondage as well. And it's not necessarily them just doing it just because. It's a spirit. It's something deeper than they can control. You know, they may want to be nice. They may want to be your friend. They may want to love you, but they don't know how. Just like I could say I didn't know how to forgive at one point. I would want to, but I just didn't know how. So we do have to like just put that into consideration and understand that it is spirit, and just go to God with that and allow him to walk you through it, and truly, truly open up with God about how you feeling. If you hate that person, let God know. If it's hard for you to let something go, let him know, and he's definitely okay with that. He loves to hear that. Because when you release that you don't know how, when you release that it's hurting you, when you release that, release anything, he is going to just walk you through it and show you how to get there. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be a bunch of falls, a bunch of bumps, a bunch of hurt and pain, but God is going to each time build you up. You just have to be willing to accept that correction, accept that whatever God is going to show you, and then watch what he does.
My encouraging word would be to ask God to cleanse you, to purge you of everything, hurt, pain, just whatever, just get it out. Also know that it's okay to cry, it's okay to have your moments, it's okay to have those moments with God where you feel like you don't know what to say or you don't know what to pray about, or just vent to God, as Candace said. Like, that is, like, vent to God like as he's your friend. Like, you know, like how we sat here and had conversations with each other. Like, talk to God like that. You need to get that out of you. Also, lean on God's understanding and not your own. That would help a great bit. And also, be still and know that God is God. Like, exercise patience. It's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. Like, it is a steady process. But just trust God through that process. Ask him for the strength and everything that you need to forgive and to get through all the hurt and pain that you have been through. And you will be healed. And you will be able to forgive, and also learn how to forgive yourself.
My encouraging word would be most definitely, everybody touched on it, but it would be the process. Like, just because the reason why my encouraging word is the process, because I'm still going through the process. I have forgiven. I have forgiven people, and I have forgiven, you know, things that have been challenging for me and whatever. But it was a process to get there. I'm still going through a process on forgiveness. I'm not, y'all see that I'm still there. I'm still learning. I'm still, you know, asking God. I'm still praying. I still want it. So I just want everybody to know that it's a process. It's not easy. And I'm about to cry again. The process is not easy, but I think it's worth it. When I have forgiven, and the process that it took me to forgive, I felt that it's worth it with the people that I have forgiven. Some people are harder than others to forgive, depending on what they've done. And, you know, it's levels to forgiveness, it's levels to hurt. And I think once we get through the process, learn your process. Learn what it is that it takes for you to forgive. I think that would make it a lot easier for you to forgive. But I'm still on that journey with my process and forgiving. So my encouragement word is most definitely trust the process.
Trust the process.
Trust the process.
That's good.
Well, this was a deep subject, and I feel like it helped at least break some chains in each one of us. And I hope it helps somebody out there. I know it helps somebody out there. This is episode 6. Stay tuned for episode 7 with
Share your truth.